1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get this party started because I don't have all day again. Today, if you're going by the Gregorian calendar, which was created just to keep your mind in the mind frame of believing in time and age, today is May 25th, and it is the solar return of my goddess Danielle. So I want to say happy solar return to Danielle. We call it a solar return because it is not the day you were born, as your soul and your spirit is thousands, if not millions, of years old. It is just the day that you inhabited the vessel inside your parent, right? So happy solar return to my goddess. Now, this is my D log for May 25th. I didn't, I did the one for the 24th. My apologies. I did the one for the 23rd a minute ago, so y'all can go watch that one if you want. I'm just gonna knock both of these out back to back. What's up, Royal Ganesh? Appreciate you stopping by. So the dream that I had last night, guys, was like, you know what I mean? Like last night was very detailed. And one thing I want to start off by saying is that oh, you can't hear me? Can you hear me? Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Drop a 9 if you can hear me. Drop a 9 if you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. But testing, testing. I hope y'all can hear me also on YouTube. But yeah, it was a pretty lengthy dream. As you can see, I got like a paper full and one stands on another paper. So it's not going to be, all right, thank you. It's not going to be, well, I appreciate you rather. It's not going to be super long, but I'm just going to get into it, right? One thing I want to say before I get into this dream log is that I recommend that everybody, log your dreams if you get a chance, if it interests you. And I say that just because the more I do this, the more I can remember my dreams. Like, you know what I mean? When I think about the dreams that I have, it's like thinking about a memory now. Like it's not like, oh man, what was that dream about? It's like I think about what happened to me the other day. Like the same way I remember, going downtown 2 weeks ago to get some ramen at the ramen spot. I remember the dream that I had last night, and I remember the dream that I had the night before, which I just did a dream log for. I would recommend you guys check out. All right, let me get into it because I don't want to take too long. I got my little lady here, Jade, my youngest goddess. And I don't know how long she going. Yeah, I appreciate you saying hi to her. I don't know how long she going to allow me. I got her because my goddess wanted to get a little bit more rest. So I get her in the morning sometimes just so that she can rest a little bit more. And I don't know how long she's going to allow me to do this. All right, so real quick, let's jump into it. Now, last night, this is for the night of May 24th, right? I remember having a pyramid made out of the chakra colors that my childhood stepfather Tony had asked me for and taken while I laid down. My goddess Danielle was upset at me for that. Now, keep in mind, guys, when I write these out, I just wake up and like jot them down as soon as I get up. Or sometimes in the middle of the night, I might just wake up and scribble it. So that's why I might stumble as I read this and then I re-explain it. So basically, I had a pyramid shaped object that was the color of the chakras. So these are your chakra colors up here for those who don't know: purple, blue, a dark bluish, green, yellow, orange, and red. Now I had a pyramid that was shaped that color and it had the eye on it, the all-seeing eye, the pineal gland, if you're familiar with it. I remember having that, and my little sister, I got a little sister named Shaniqua. She's 10 years younger than me. Her father, his name was Tony. He was the closest thing I had to a father growing up because I didn't know my father. So, I mean, I seen him before, but you know what I'm saying? I didn't really know my father, which is common for us, unfortunately. But anyway, my stepfather, Tony, I remember him being there. He died from AIDS not too long ago, which is AIDS, by the way, is a manufactured disease to kill off many of our kind. You don't die from AIDS, you die from it reducing your immune system, which is the same thing that this new thing that is doing. But anyway, Tony, I laid down and he asked me if he could see the pyramid. And I was like, sure, you could see it. And I gave it to him. And then I laid down, and when I woke up, it was gone. And I guess he had took it. And my goddess, was a little bit upset about that. She didn't like that. I remember that much. All right, let's go on. I remember being in a library. This was a pretty detailed, long dream, guys. Like a lot of the things that I went through in this dream are not even in here because I couldn't really verbalize it. But this is what I came up with. I remember being in a library and manifesting a check/money order for $101. I remember coming out to my car where I sat while a high school friend of mine named Chanel was in the car sitting across from me being promiscuous with another girl. I also remember manifesting two $1 bills in the library as well that I found as I walked around. So when I was walking around the library, I remember clearly I was walking and like there was like a bookshelf off to the corner and I was manifesting. I was thinking of money. And I looked off a Tamil language 1,000 years before the chart explanation is available as articles. Okay. I appreciate that. I was and that's not to downplay the significance of what you're giving me. I appreciate that. I just don't want to forget my dream. So or forget what I want to say. The bookshelf was off to the side and I looked and I remember I saw a dollar bill behind it. And I was like, oh, I picked up the dollar bill. And then I remember I was like, after that happened, my brain, I guess, caught on to the fact that I was manifesting money. And I thought, oh, I want more money. And I looked to my left and I saw a dollar bill falling. And I was like, oh. So I went around the corner. And when I turned into this aisle where the bookshelves were, there were people in the aisle. I remember. I can't remember what they looked like, who they were, but it was people in the aisle. And I picked up the dollar, which was like sitting on a bookshelf. Then as I walked down a little bit more, I saw a check or money order sitting on the bookshelf. And I remember I looked over at it. I picked it up. It folded out. So I know it was a money order because it was a part at the top that you fill out. And then at the bottom, was it a checkbook? I feel like it was a money order. But I picked it up and it said $101. I remember it was 101, right? And I don't want to jump too far ahead. Let's move on to the next thing. All right, so I remember being, and these aren't necessarily in order either. Like this is not necessarily in order. I remember being with two other couples and we were doing something that the other men were having trouble doing, but I did with ease. I feel that the other man was Mike Epps. There was something on a plate that I finished first, as one of the women bragged about me being done first. Okay, so I was in like a hotel room or something. I was in some sort of room and there was like something on a plate. Like we all had plates, like me, Mike Epps, and another dude had plates, and we was trying to do something. We was pushing the plates forward or putting the plates on the wall, doing something. I don't remember specifically what it was, but we was doing something with the plates. And somehow they were having trouble with it. I even remember one of them had a son or one of them had a child, and they was trying to get the child to help them or do it with the child. And I did it quickly, and then I left. And as I was leaving, I remember I was like navigating through the room. It was like a bunch of stuff all around the room. And I was like going through the stuff. And this girl, one of the girls that was in the room, I guess she was one of the goddesses of one of the guys that was in there. She saw me and was like, oh, he finished. You know what I mean? As I was walking out. And I remember, I just remember leaving from there. I don't want to jump too far ahead. So I'm gonna just stick with that. I can't remember, man. It's upset me that I can't specifically remember what we was doing, man. I tried. I closed my eyes and tried my best. I know we had something with plates. I don't know if it was food we was eating or like something on the plates we were pushing, but something was going on with 3 plates. Anyway, let's move on. I remember driving a beat up car that felt like a bike. I rode past a cop car that had a radio. That had radio discussing gangs attacking police on the West Coast. So when I left out, I remember I was driving. Yeah, she's starting to get a little testy, y'all. Let me hurry up. I remember when I left out, I was driving a car. Now I always drove a stick shift. So when I was driving the car, I was also like riding a bike with a rusty chain. It's weird because I remember driving, but I envisioned a bike with a rusty chain and me driving it. It was just weird. Also, I drove past a cop that I could hear the radio from his car, and the radio was saying, gang members firing at police, and they were saying that there was some sort of code that the gangs on the West Coast was using to fire at police. That's the most I can that I can remember about that part. All right, let's move on. I only got 2 more stanzas. It won't be too much longer. So next one, I remember being in a car getting. Okay. By the way, real quick, when I left the library, I left something out. When I left the library where I had found that money, I did go out to my car. And I remember I was walking out to my car and I was doing something by the trash can. And then I got in my car. The car that I was in was the BMW that I used to have. And that's when the girl I used to go to school with, her name is Chanel, she was in a car with another girl and they were doing something promiscuous. There was actually a kid in the car too. I'm not going to go too much into detail about that, but they were doing something promiscuous in that car. Anywho, I'll get back to it. So I remember being in a car getting a ride from Stacey Dash and a white girl. When I got in the car, there was $500 in a seat near me, in 50s. I took $150, and then as I overheard Stacey Dash tell the girl it was for rent, I put it back. We stopped at a corner store in West Baltimore. We came back to the car and discussed the money. I saw myself in the car with them. Okay, so let me try to clarify what I just read as best as I can. So I was in a car with Stacey Dash and a white girl. Now, I wrote that down backwards because now that I remember, it was actually different than what I just wrote in terms of who was talking to who about the rent money. So when I got in the car, it was like $500 sitting in a little, you know how there's like a little glove, a little compartment right here on your left? That's not a compartment, but you know what I mean, that little thing that you put stuff in. So it was $500 in there, all 50s. I got in the back seat, and when I sat in the back seat, I saw it. It was like a 2-seater car. So it wasn't like where I opened my own door. I got in, she folded her chair up, if anybody knows about 2-seater cars. So when I got in, I saw the money and I grabbed the money because for some reason, this whole dream, I was strapped for money. It might have been because, I've been manifesting or putting my mind on manifesting lately. So I grabbed the money. It was all 50s. It was $5,000, not 500. I think I wrote 500. It was 5,000. It had to be 5,000 because it was a ton of 50s. But I took 3 of the 50s because I was like, man, I'm gonna just take 3 of these. Whatever. It's Stacey Dash. She rich anyway. She ain't gonna notice nothing. So I took it, put it in my pocket. I was like, whatever. I'm not doing any harm to her. She'll be fine. And then I remember the white girl was actually talking to Stacey Dash. This is the part that I got backwards. She was telling Stacey Dash how she was needing to pay her rent, and she got the rent money from somebody. I think she got it from her father or something. But she was saying that it was for her rent. So I remember like uncrumbling the 350s that I had in my back pocket, like they was balled up, and I put them back with the 5,000 or whatever. And then right after I did that, she grabbed the money, and I know she noticed something was different because 3 of the bills was different than the rest of the bills for me balling it up or whatever, right? So then we stopped at a corner store over West Baltimore where I grew up at. This was off of Fulton Avenue. Anybody who's familiar with Baltimore, especially from over West in Baltimore, you already know what Fulton Avenue is. But that's the corner store that we stopped to. What's up, Jane? If you're still in here, I appreciate you stopping by. I almost cursed you, girl. Grand rising to you, Goddess. Grand rising to you. I'm just going over my dream log. Now, I remember we stopped at that store, and while we was in there, I was walking around the liquor store. It was a corner store. I was walking around the corner store behind Stacey Dash and her friend, and then we went back to the car. What's up? What's up? Not that kind that just joined. I appreciate you. I'm going over my dream log from last night. So we got back to the car, and the white girl that was I was in a car. For those who just came in, I was in a car with Stacey Dash and a white girl. The white girl, they had $5,000 and 50s in there. I took 3 of the 50s out, put them in my pocket. Stacey Dash actually, the white girl actually realized when we got back to the car from the corner store over West Baltimore, she realized that I had took her money, and they were saying something back and forth to each other. And then and then it gets hazy for me right there. Again, I didn't write down all of the details because a lot of it I can't really verbalize. It's just stuff that happened. You know what I'm saying? And last stanza that I got for y'all, and then I'm gonna get out of here and make a quick statement to y'all before I go. I remember walking through a hotel with 2 other guys. I feel like they were the same guys I had outdone earlier. I left them, and one of them was sitting down as I walked by. Oh, thank you. Y'all see that? She just kissed my hand because I do that to her all the time. I appreciate you, baby. So basically, like when I told y'all earlier that I was in that room with those 2 people who with those 2 men that I was having that thing with, I feel like those were the same 2 guys that I was in the hotel with that I was walking through, and we were just bopping through the hotel or whatever. And then I remember one of them went off and started talking to people on the side. The other one, he sat down, and then I walked past him and I walked out of the hotel. Um, yeah. So that's about all I got. The one thing I wanted to say to everybody was No. Yeah, I'm still alive. Let me end this broadcast. Guys, remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle. I'm sorry about all of that, or my apologies about all of that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I love y'all. Jiggins out.